women who get together with other women are healthier, happier, and stronger.
Now we can make some figure eights with our hips. Figure eight, figure eight, figure eight, figure eight. Woo!
By the time I met Mickey, I had already contemplated suicide, and I was developing a plan. That's how dark my life had gotten.
Because I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me.
Hello, Hagerstown. Welcome to Prime Time for Women, the show for and about women in their prime. You know, it is so much fun to do this taping before a live audience because it's sort of like getting together with your girlfriends. You know how when you haven't seen each other and you get together and you're like, oh my gosh, you just pick up right where you left off. You laugh about the old times, you complain about your frustrations that are happening right now, and if you have really good girlfriends, you even dare to speak your dreams that you hope to come true. Well, that kind of sharing is powerful medicine, and that's what we hope to do on this show. So I'm so glad that you're here and going to be a part of that. Just recently, I was together with a group of my girlfriends, and we got laughing and reminiscing about our worst date in high school. And I have to tell you, it was so funny. We laughed so hard we were crying. And I won't tell you how many of them, but some of them actually, wet their pants. But, we're women in our prime, so that's okay. So, I feel like, I hope that all of you have girlfriends where you can have that uncontrollable, gut-busting laughing, because that is good for you to share that kind of emotional connection with other people. So my worst date was in the spring of 1974. I was going to play tennis with a guy named Steve. He was a senior, a year older than me, and he was the captain of the tennis team, and we were going to go play on a Sunday afternoon. And he came to pick me up, and I could tell he was a little bit mad because he wasn't really talking to me. And I think it had something to do with I went out the night before with a guy named Charlie to the movies. But back in the 70s, unless you had somebody's varsity jacket or the ring, you just dated lots of people, And so I could tell he was mad because when we got to the tennis court, he was serving the ball so hard, I didn't return one serve the whole time. But on the bright side of things, I got a ton of exercise running around picking up all the balls. It was a very short match, and surprise, surprise, I lost. But anyhow, we went home to my house, and I went into the kitchen. I invited Steve to come in to get something to drink. And, he comes walking into the kitchen in his Severna Park High School tennis sweats. And contrary to what young men think today, he did not invent the low-rise ride. I mean, they did not, because he was wearing his sweatpants way down on his hips, which meant the crotch of his pants was, somewhere down around his knees. So he comes walking into the kitchen, and my mom and 4 of my sisters and both of my brothers were in the kitchen. And I give him a glass of water, and my sister, that's next to the youngest, is sitting at the table. He's standing across. And she looks under the table, and she comes back up. She looks at him. She goes under the table again. She comes back up. And she says, you know what? You have a funny-looking crotch. Oh, my gosh. We laughed. All of us laughed so hard. Well, not Steve. He didn't laugh. He got the heck out of town. And you know what? It's really surprising. We never had another date. I mean, but anyhow, sometimes on the show we laugh and sometimes we cry. Sometimes we tell silly stories. But sometimes we share heartfelt pains. And so today on our show, we're going to tackle some tough issues. And Takesha is going to be here to share a poem about addiction. We have 2 moms who are here to make sure that people who love people with addictions know that they're not alone. They're going to talk about their own experiences. We also have some really fun stuff happening. Mia Fair-Williams from My Tannique is going to be here to talk about healthy tanning and also to do a reveal where she chose 2 women, 1 complete makeovers, and she's going to get to invite them on stage, and we'll get to hear what that was like for them. And also Stephanie Hartsock, a local fitness instructor. She's going to be on the show to talk about her fitness journey to inspire us, but also she's going to be talking about the health benefits, particularly of group exercising, connecting with others while you're exercising. So before we go to commercial break, I just want to thank our sponsors that make this show possible: Meredith Health, Antietam Broadband, Smart TV, Steady Entertainment, Varney Keating Nursing Home and Village, and of course the Women's Club, which allows us to use this beautiful historic facility and this auditorium within it. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Honey, we finally made it.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
No matter where you're at in your retirement, here at Varney will support you and celebrate your life. Call us today to schedule your tour.
Business Internet just reached the tipping point. Tip your hat to the information age. Get a gig for business and upload robust files, complex videos, and compound reports at the same time, in real time, while saving time. For DISA and data, get a gig. Got it? Now get going. Get Flight Gigabit for Business backed by 24/7 tech support from Antietam Broadband. Call us today.
Introducing Antietam Smart Wi-Fi, the ultimate home networking solution. Smart Wi-Fi expands your wireless network and can eliminate Wi-Fi dead zones. Adding Smart Wi-Fi access points creates a Wi-Fi blanket for all of your devices, so you get consistent wireless internet speeds anywhere in your house. So go ahead and browse, game, and stream video in any room. Make the most of your internet with Smart Wi-Fi from Antietam Broadband. Smart homes deserve smart Wi-Fi.
If you add it up, 12 spots a year for 25 years, close to 300 different commercials I've used Antietam Cable Production for. In terms of the experience with the production department, the truth is, we've become friends because we've done it so often. The staff is very, very professional. They make it easy for me to do the spot. That's the biggest thing. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And it works. It brings people to the dealership. And that's all I can ask.
This changes everything. TiVo is here. Search and control your cable channels, on demand and streaming video with one remote. Record 6 shows at once and build a library of favorites with one pass recording. Then watch on any TV in your home. Welcome to the ultimate TV experience. Call or visit AntietamBroadband.com to change everything with TiVo.
Thank you for seeing us so quickly. He's just unbearable when he's sick.
I'm glad that you came right into Meritus Urgent Care.
We have just what you need to feel better faster, young bear.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Meritus Urgent Care is located off Moggins Avenue on Creighton Boulevard. For more information, visit meritushelp.com/urgent care.
So I said at the beginning of the show, I mentioned that sometimes we tackle some tough topics on this TV show. And I feel like today is one of those days. But we do this not just for ourselves, but so that others will know that they're not alone. And I wanted to read a quote because Takesha is going to be reading a poem about the pain of addiction. This poem was written by a young woman named Kelsey Casper in 2017. And she said, quote, "My brother was in and out of recovery for the past 6 years. He was a wonderful soul, but some demons were too strong for him. He was 8 months clean when he had a terrible week and relapsed. Just one relapse, but it was laced with fentanyl, and he died immediately." Please welcome Takesha Martinez, Primetime for Women's Poet Laureate, to read Heroine's Sister. Takesha. Thanks for being here.
I've never touched
tasted, or craved you, but I know you. I've watched my hero deteriorate in search of you, praying for the oblivion that follows, jumping through obstacles of deceit, torture, and heartbreak for a moment of relief. One moment of silence, one moment of peace. I've never flirted, danced, or played with you, but I know you. I've watched my brother stalk, hide, and run from you, all at the same time, not wanting to find you, but needing to, for a moment of clarity, a moment to breathe, a moment to escape. I've never listened to your promises, whispers, or songs, but I know you. I've heard you in his screams, haunting his dreams. He's just wanted to be free, but he was always getting pulled by you. I've never touched, tasted, or craved you, but oh, I do know you.
So, Takesha, thank you for sharing that poem. It really touches us deeply, and for sharing Kelsey Casper's words. Let's give Takesha one more big hand. Many, if not all of us, have been touched by addiction somewhere along the lines. And when we come back from commercial break, we'll have a chance to hear from people who know this experience firsthand and who also want to give you the opportunity to share your thoughts and ask questions. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Honey, we finally made it.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
No matter where you're at in your retirement, here at Farnakitti will support you and celebrate your life. Call us today to schedule your tour.
If you add it up, 12 spots a year for 25 years, close to 300 different commercials I've used Antietam cable production for. In terms of the experience with the production department, the truth is, we've become friends because we've done it so often. The staff is very, very professional. They make it easy for me to do the spot. That's the biggest thing. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And it works. It brings people to the dealership. And that's all I can ask.
Antietam Broadband brings you a unique new program that tells the story of the Battle of Antietam in a different way. Antietam, A Soldier's View, takes you hour by hour and places you into the areas where they fought. Antietam, A Soldier's View airs Mondays through Wednesdays and Saturdays and Sundays only on Antietam Broadband's Channel 6 and 806.
Thank you for seeing us so quickly. He's just unbearable when he's sick.
I'm glad that you came right into Meritus Urgent Care.
We have just what you need to feel better faster, young bear.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Meritus Urgent Care is located off Moggins Avenue on Creighton Boulevard. For more information, visit meritushealth.com/urgent care.
Welcome back to Prime Time for Women. In Tommy Orange's book, They're There, one of his characters says, when you hear stories from people like you, you feel less alone. And when you feel less alone, and like you have a community of people behind you, I believe you can live a better life. With this quote in mind, I am humbled and pleased to welcome our next two guests to the stage. Debbie Fling, founder of Save Our Children's Boonesboro, and Pam McMillan, a certified registered nurse practitioner. Please welcome them to the stage. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Pam. So good to have you here. So Pam and Debbie are here today to share their stories. And Pam, I thought I would start off with you. And you specialize now in treating substance abuse. Can you tell us how and why you got into that?
Well, first of all, not close enough?
Yep,
Closer.
that's it. It's working.
Sorry. I went into helping people with substance use problems because I worked in pain management at the hospital. And with chronic pain, I kind of found a fine line between opioid dependence, treating patients, and substance use. So we ran into a lot of these issues in our practice. And then I found this job posted that was about substance use. And also, I went into it, really haven't said a lot about it, but because I had a child that struggled with dual diagnosis, which is bipolar, and then with issues with the bipolar, he would be into substance use. So that's what made me go into that.
Okay. And Debbie, you are the founder of Save Our Children Boonesboro. You are also a member of Project Act Now, Maryland Heroin Advocacies, and one other group.
Justice and Recovery Advocates.
Yes, so that's quite an impressive amount of time that you're putting into this. Can you talk a little bit about why and how you got involved in that?
I have two sons that suffer from addiction, and as did their father. And I decided that my youngest son was incarcerated, and at that time I decided, I have to be a part of this solution. It's not getting better. I had to find a way to help myself and then ultimately help others, because I felt like I was alone and I didn't have anywhere to turn or anybody to talk to in the workplace. Friends, my family's very supportive, but after a while, people get tired of hearing it. So I felt like, I needed to be a part of bringing the awareness, to the public.
And what do you hope that people get out of today's show? Why did you decide to be on today's show?
One of the big things that I promote is not only awareness, but reaching out. And there's a lot of hope in the fact that and you were talking about girlfriends getting together, and through a support group, people can actually go somewhere and feel like they belong, that people understand them, and that there's an outlet. There's a place that they can go and not have the shame and not have the stigma, which are two of the biggest things that are associated with the family members of a loved one.
And I also think that a lot of times, because of that stigma, people don't seek treatment for their loved ones and even for themselves because they think nobody else will get it. So I've heard you say a number of times, Debbie, at community meetings about the need to break the cycle of shame. So what is that cycle of shame? Either one of you can answer that.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just being able to be honest and be able to talk about it. Sometimes you have to know when to say some things regarding any of your history, and when it's okay, you think it will be helpful to family or to the patients.
Mm-hmm. Debbie?
And also, I think definitely in being honest and trying to help people to come outside of themselves, because in the workplace especially, we all work, and that's kind of where we spend the biggest part of our day. So in trying to help empower people, and I've seen it turn around. I've seen people come into where they can't even talk. They're crying the entire time, and now it's just laughter a lot of the time. We deal with some real serious issues, the loss of life, kids that are on the streets. So being able to actually reach out for help, and also self-help is something that we moms, dads, parents, but especially moms, do not do self-help because we're always chasing the addict, or we're so self-absorbed, not into ourselves, but in trying to help them and everybody else because we're fixers.
You're outside focused, not taking care of yourself.
Right. So self-help is really important.
So I know that a big part of today's show was to give the audience a chance to ask questions and maybe to share their stories. But before we do that, I was wondering if you would be willing to maybe share one little bit of advice that people who are struggling with a loved one who has addiction, and it could be a parent, a sibling, a spouse, a child, a friend, one little bit of advice that what would be the best thing that you could share with them, or maybe something that somebody has passed on to you that's been helpful?
Well, reaching out for help. Keeping it to yourself it's not beneficial. It's making you as sick as the person in your life. Could be a husband, spouse, whatever. But reaching out for help, and also turning to local organizations. There's resources that are here locally in this area. Washington Goes Purple is out here working they're working the streets with the kids. And that's where we have to really get involved, is teaching our youth of today so that we're not in this cycle, generations and generations. We're losing generations right now. So I would say reach out, turn to the local resources, Maryland Heroin Awareness Advocates, Justice and Recovery, the Health Department. There's so many local resources. So just don't feel like you're alone. You're not. You're not alone. There's so many people out here to help.
Pam?
And I guess I was looking at it differently. I was looking at how you deal with the person in your family and the person that's addicted, and that is the hardest thing in the world. But through everything I've learned in this past year, being motivational with that person, not being constantly critical of that person who's addicted. They've relapsed. Okay, you relapsed. Did you get the help? Are you coming back? Looking at all the positive things you can do. Looking at, can you go inpatient? Can we get into intensive outpatient? Look at all the positive things you can do, and then try to, you're going to be critical, and yes, you're going to be upset with your child for what they're going through, but being totally critical, and no disrespect, but I'm not a tough love parent. I always try to find a solution in a way to try to be pushing in a positive direction and helping the person. So.
All right, well, thank you both so much. I'm going to take the microphone and get some questions out here in the audience. Okay, who has a question for either Debbie or Pam? Oh, no. Yeah, okay.
So for our acquaintances and friends that may not be living in our house, but we know that they are in trouble, what would you suggest we do to approach the family of those individuals so that we can be an ally and support, but not overstep our bounds?
I've experienced this multiple times, and unfortunately, there's no easy way to approach a family member about addiction. Number one, the addict, they're on a mission, and their mission is to stay well, so they will do anything that it takes. So they will lie, and they will convince their family members. So you have to be very careful when you approach somebody, but leave it open-ended. If you're going to approach them, maybe have the resources in hand. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to have to do this. These are the facts. I don't want your loved one to die. That usually gets their attention, and then give them the resources and say, you don't have to believe me. Just watch and observe the signs, because their loved one has changed, and they know that. There's something going on. They have to know that. So it may not be as obvious as some, but, I would have those resources in hand.
Takesha.
With pain being the root of a lot of people suffering with addiction, they use different things to kind of numb the pain. With pain being the root, and for somebody as a caregiver of somebody who is trying to numb the pain, can you talk a little bit about what self-care looks like for the people that are being the caregiver for the person in pain? Because there's pain there as well when you're trying to love someone through and support someone through. So can you just talk a little bit about self-care and what you guys do?
Well, again, a support group, something that can help to empower you, because you're raw. Your emotions are, when we're grieving or we're upset over a loved one, or any kind of heartbreak, we kind of disconnect. We don't want to go out into public. We don't want people to see that vulnerability. So we're great at putting masks on, and everything's great. And Facebook is wonderful to hide behind. But I would say reach out to a friend, reach out to somebody that's not going to criticize your loved one, because that's the other part of it. You're out here dealing with the addiction on this end of it. Your loved one is also suffering. I mean, they're suffering greatly. They do not want to deal with an addiction. So try to find people that will help to empower you, and start going on a regular basis, if you can, to a support group.
So Pam, I was just going to ask you if you could talk a little bit about, from a medical standpoint, some of the treatments that are available to families and to people with substance abuse issues.
Sure. So in the hospital, I see patients, all degrees, everything, for substance use. The things that I go up and do a complete consult and talk to them, and I've only been doing this for a year, so I found my approach is much better. I'm there basically to help this person and let them know that I am the best support and the only thing that will get them through. Not the only thing, but that I'm very supportive. And then I try to talk to them in a way that they're very engaged in their care and get them to look at what's available to them. So then I go through everything. Most of the time, I don't know if people in Hagerstown know this, but for the opioid crisis, we're number 2 in the state of Maryland. So we're right behind Baltimore. So we really do need more resources. One nice thing, we had Awakenings, an inpatient facility open in Hagerstown, but we need a crisis center, and there's more things to come, hopefully, in the next few years. But what I do with the patients is try to discuss everything with them, try to give them positive motivation, try to help them deal with what they're going through, try to help them with their families, and their families might come in, and I may go back up and discuss things with them. A lot of times we look at inpatient rehab. The biggest thing I've found with inpatient rehab, no matter if it's being sober from alcohol or any drug, is that person usually goes away for 28 to 30 days in an inpatient facility. They do work all day long, they do life coping skills, they are sober for 28 days. Now, does it always work? No. Normally, statistics show that people have 9 relapses before they're able to get clean and stay clean. And that's not to say that they might not slip up sometime in their life. But so we give them inpatient, outpatient, we do individual counseling. We have Potomac Case Management. We have a case management group that helps. They try to help with transportation. We try to help with homelessness. We can't provide homes for people, but we try to help them find places to go. We do group homes. We do halfway houses. And then, I give them literature and discuss things with them.
All right, well, that's a lot of information there, and I'm so grateful to Pam and Debbie for being here with us to talk about this important topic. And I think one of the reasons that we really wanted to do this is because we wanted to engage and solicit your help in helping to advocate. So when we do Washington Goes Purple, we hope that you'll all be strong advocates for that. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Honey, we finally made it.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
No matter where you're at in your retirement, here at Farnakitti will support you and celebrate your life. Call us today to schedule your tour.
If you add it up, 12 spots a year for 25 years, close to 300 different commercials I've used Antietam cable production for. In terms of the experience with the production department, the truth is, we've become friends because we've done it so often. The staff is very, very professional. They make it easy for me to do the spot. That's the biggest thing. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And it works. It brings people to the dealership. And that's all I can ask.
This changes everything. TiVo is here. Search and control your cable channels, on demand and streaming video with one remote. Record 6 shows at once and build a library of favorites with one pass recording. Then watch on any TV in your home. Welcome to the ultimate TV experience. Call or visit AntietamBroadband.com to change everything with TiVo.
Antietam Broadband brings you a unique new program that tells the story of the Battle of Antietam in a different way. Antietam, A Soldier's View, takes you hour by hour and places you into the areas where they fought. Antietam, A Soldier's View airs Mondays through Wednesdays and Saturdays and Sundays only on Antietam Broadband's Channel 6 and 806.
Thank you for seeing us so quickly. He's just unbearable when he's sick.
I'm glad that you came right into Meredith's urgent care.
We have just what you need to feel better faster, young bear.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Meredith's Urgent Care is located off Moggins Avenue on Creighton Boulevard. For more information, visit meredithshelp.com/urgent care.
So excited to talk about our next guest. Coco Chanel said, beauty is your, let's see, she said, beauty begins when you decide to be yourself. I really like that quote, but I like a quote better from our next guest, Mia Fair-Williams. She said, you're already beautiful. Makeup doesn't make you beautiful. What makeup does is it allows you to express your beauty in different ways at different times. What a great way to empower and encourage women and support women. Please welcome Mia Fair-Williams to the stage. So I think everybody knows that there's going to be a reveal that you did makeovers for 2 women today.
Yes.
But before we did that, I wanted to ask you that with this being July and everybody's out in the sun, I know that you're a strong advocate for safe tanning. Can you talk to us about safe practices for sun tanning?
Sure. So ironically, as much as we believe being out in the sun and everything is really healthy for us, it is really has a negative effect on our skin. There really is no such thing as a healthy tan. So no matter what your natural pigmentation is, whether you have a dark olive color naturally, anytime that your skin changes color from sun exposure, it is showing skin damage. That is what the change of color is, no matter what. Even if it's a pretty brown color, it is always skin damage. So with sunless tanning, it does give us a new outlet for more of a healthy tan. Because sunless tanning is only affecting your epidermis, which is all of the dead skin. And it comes off just through exfoliation. It's nothing permanent. It's not a stain or a dye. And I love spreading the word about sunless tanning because as a child of the 80s with copper tone and all of those great things that we used to do, it has come a really long way. And there really is beautiful sunless tanning. I was just...
They're not all orange anymore.
No. I mean... There still are some really bad spray tans, like that's not completely true, but just with any product, you have to, do some research and make sure, that you see pictures and things like that to know that it's a good thing. But even this morning when I was doing the makeovers for the women, Bernadette was like, oh, you look so nice. And I was like, well, I got my spray tan yesterday, so yes.
And I said, she's not orange. I mean,
no,
who
not
knew?
at all.
So part of the reason Mia got into this is she has this really strong passion and interest about decreasing skin cancer, melanoma in particular. And I did do a little research on this, and according to the American Cancer Society, there were 70,000 cases of melanoma last year, and 10,000 of those were fatal. So there's this idea that we can have a safe option, so I really appreciate Mia being here to talk about that. In fact, do you want to talk about it, or should I?
With the spray tan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, so I'm really excited to draw a name from one of the attendees today for them to experience a complimentary sunless tan at our studio.
And where is your studio located?
We are located right in the heart of downtown. We're on the north side of the square at 400 North Potomac Street.
And so what we did was we put all the contact cards that you filled out into this basket, and I'm going to mix them around, and we'll see who gets to have a free spray suntan.
And ironically, just about the skincare, so more men actually get melanoma than women, and it's because they're not wearing SPF. So if you guys want to spread the word to all the men that you love in your life, how important it is for them to put SPF on every day, just as we do. A lot of us have cosmetic products that have it in it already, but there is men's lines that also have the same, or they can just put normal SPF on.
Okay, so pick one name.
I've been doing lots of this lately. I'm like a professional drawer. Okay.
Okay, so let's see.
Is it Amy? Amy H?
Amy on Hamilton Boulevard. Who is that?
Oh,
yes. Amy there.
Yes.
Amy, okay, Amy Fox. So Amy, we don't have that's fine. But Amy, see me after the show, and she'll make sure that you get your information. So thank you so much for your generous donation.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Amy. So, Mia, just tell us a little bit more about your novel approach to makeup, that it is not something that is required, or that you have a particular philosophy about the beauty.
So I am the daughter of a little Southern debutante mom that would not leave the house to go even to the mailbox without putting her face on. And that is passed on from generations. Even on my father's side, one of my funniest memories of my grandmother was we were at breakfast one morning. I was visiting with all of my family, and my daughter was probably about 7 at the time. And my grandma came down to the breakfast table, and my daughter said, well, Grammy, why do you always come out of your bedroom with your makeup on and, your outfit on? And my grandma said, well, darling, someone must answer the door. And so that has been the philosophy of my family forever. And not really something like to oppose, but I never really understood the value of my mom's worth being placed on her outer, because I loved my mom unconditionally, even in her PJs, cuddling on the sofa, but she seemed to really only love herself with this facade on that made her feel confident. And I'm glad she had that, because I love seeing the confidence in her. But I didn't really understand that as a child growing up. And I just, God kind of makes us all who we are. And I kind of grew up with the idea of, I love makeup and I've always had fun with it. But I like the creative side of it. It has never been my identity. I've never let it own me as my identity. I like to change my look. I don't wear it as a uniform every day. And in the same way every day. So even with the tutorials that we do at our studio, whether it's with a teen or a 20-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old we've done tutorials with, it's more about just letting it be an outlet of self-expression. So saying what you wear to school isn't the same as what you would want to wear to homecoming or prom. what you wear to work in the morning, you should probably touch it up a little differently if you're going out to dinner or to happy hour with friends. Like, you don't have to be like to the 9 with the beat face every day. But if that's what you want to do, like, that's fine too. But like, we just really like to always encourage women to let it be part of whatever they want at that time.
And I do like me as a professional makeup artist who says, you don't need to wear makeup every day. And I just thought that was so refreshing. And it's like, she said to me, you're beautiful the way you are as you are. But if you want to wear makeup, that's great too. So anyhow, you did 2 makeovers today on 2 different women. So can we bring up our first guest?
Sure. I think Dolores is our first guest. She was the first.
Dodie Rusky, come on up to the stage.
Yes.
It was really, why she's making her way up to the stage, I'll tell you, it was really fun to call Dodie and tell her that she won. She said, oh my gosh, I haven't worn makeup since I retired. This is going to be so exciting. So anyhow, welcome, Dodie.
Yes.
Hi, I'm going to give you a microphone. So tell us a little bit, Dodie, what it felt like to have the makeover and, experience that whole thing.
First of all, it felt so beautiful. I mean, just with the application and the gentleness, it was quite nice. And then when I saw myself, well, actually even just feeling it, it still felt like, it just somehow made me feel more outgoing. It made me feel more like I'm a little bling now.
She has bling. Give Dodie a hand for her bling. So
I see your before and
there's
after.
your picture too. Yeah, so it was really nice when Mia was doing the drawing. She said, oh, they need to come at 9 o'clock because I need to spend time and talk to them and feel like we're connecting because this is about who they are and I don't want to put my impression on them. So I just really love that's your...
No, we had a really fun time.
Yeah, I walked in there, they sounded like they were having a party. Anything else you want to say, Dodie?
I'm probably able to talk too much, but later I probably will come out with lots more. It really was a fun event.
Okay, and you look absolutely beautiful. So let's give Dodie a round of applause. Thank you. Our next winner, her name is Samantha Whip. Can we welcome Samantha to the stage, please?
It was really fun too. We randomly drew names, but we had women that were, on opposite spectrums of life. Dodie's retired, she's living a more relaxed lifestyle, and now we have a young lady on her way to work after. So that was really fun to kind of have that change up.
So welcome, Sam. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
What did you think when we called you and told you that you won?
I was shocked because I don't normally win these things. So I was like, well, okay, but then again, I have to go work 12 hours, so this should be fun. But it was fun. I've never had a makeover, and Mia's very personable and made you feel, you don't need a lot of makeup to feel beautiful. And she catered to my style today, which is I'm going to go work. So
she's going to go to work,
she,
yeah.
Even though she'd say you don't need to wear makeup, but it's nice to put a little bit of face on, even if you're just going to work. So
okay.
it was wonderful. It was
All
awesome.
right, perfect. And Mia, I was going to ask you, are there different techniques when you're working on different people?
Oh, absolutely. So
I'll take that microphone and see if we can get some questions from the
met
audience.
with Sam, I asked her, what is your normal makeup routine? Like, do you like makeup? Do you not like makeup? Do you wear it every day? And she was like, I like gold. So we went with, a gold look with a little bit of brown, kind of just like a beachy kind of bronzy look is what I was feeling with her, with what she also said she felt most comfortable.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Mia regarding personal makeup for you or the process they did? Any questions out there? Oh, there's a question.
So I'm just curious, how do you get the foundation that looks so nice? Because when I put it on, I either put it on too heavy, not enough, or I don't blend it well. And then you have a lot of wrinkles.
Yeah, with foundation, I often don't even use the same color all over the face. So I like to do a little bit lighter right in the center of the face and then darker on the sides. And then I like using sponges and brushes. It really depends on the skin of my client, first of all, because if you have more mature skin, it tends to be more dry. So I definitely wouldn't want to use like all brush application. I would want to use some sponging too. So it's really about the blending. And even with eyeshadow, that's really the biggest trick too. Like you really just want to keep blending until you have all of that feathered together. And especially with foundation, like you don't want it to look like you were wearing a mask. So you want to always extend your foundation all the way down your neck, like under your chin, down your neck, even over the front part of your ears. And like if someone's wearing their hair up like in a ponytail, or if you're doing it for a more formal occasion and the hair is up, I even blend it like down behind the ears, like on the neck.
Okay, good tip. Anybody else have a question? This is your chance to get tips from the experts. Oh, okay, Sailor has a question.
Which one do you think is best, liquid foundation or powder?
So that too also really depends. I do like liquid foundation, especially if I'm needing to do some extra hydration. I love luminous foundations, even on mature clients, because it does add more of a glow and it doesn't leave the skin really dry looking. I don't like super matte on skin because it just looks kind of artificial. But it again kind of depends on what the skin type. If a client has really oily skin or large pores, I would probably use a little bit of a combination of both. But I definitely usually prefer powder foundation on more oily clients.
All right. Well, thank you so much for asking those questions. Thank you for being here, Mia and Sam
pleasure.
and Dodie, Dolores. I never call you Dolores, but we're so glad that you're all here today. Let's give Mia a big round of applause and thank her for sharing her knowledge.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this short commercial.
Honey, we finally made it.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
No matter where you're at in your retirement, here at Farnakitti will support you and celebrate your life. Call us today to schedule your tour.
The internet has changed how we live and work and has become an essential utility in our everyday lives. But with so many connected devices, how do you know how much bandwidth is enough? Bandwidth refers to the total amount of internet data that can be delivered to your home every second. It is important to understand that bandwidth is shared among all connected devices in the home. The more devices that connect to the internet.
Introducing Antietam Smart Wi-Fi, the ultimate home networking solution. Smart Wi-Fi expands your wireless network and can eliminate Wi-Fi dead zones. Adding Smart Wi-Fi access points creates a Wi-Fi blanket for all of your devices, so you get consistent wireless internet speeds anywhere in your house. So go ahead and browse, game, and stream video in any room. Make the most of your internet with Smart Wi-Fi from Antietam Broadband. Smart homes deserve smart Wi-Fi.
If you add it up, 12 spots a year for 25 years, close to 300 different commercials I've used Antietam cable production for. In terms of the experience with the production department, the truth is, we've become friends because we've done it so often. The staff is very, very professional. They make it easy for me to do the spot. That's the biggest thing. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And it works. It brings people to the dealership. And that's all I can ask.
Business Internet just reached the tipping point. Tip your hat to the information age. Get a gig for business and upload robust files, complex videos, and compound reports at the same time, in real time, while saving time. For DISA and data, get a gig. Got it? Now get going. Get Flight Gigabit for Business backed by 24/7 tech support from Antietam Broadband. Call us today.
The Humane Society of Washington County offers refuge to domestic animals in need. Animals like Romeo. Starved and abandoned in the bitter cold, Romeo is not the first animal found in this desperate condition, and he won't be the last. You can help give innocent animals another chance. Even a $10 monthly donation can help the Humane Society of Washington County act quickly to save lives. Can the animals count on you? Visit hswcmd.org to learn more.
Thank you for seeing us so quickly. He's just unbearable when he's sick.
I'm glad that you came right into Meredith's Urgent Care.
We have just what you need to feel better faster, young bear.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Meredith's Urgent Care is located off Moggins Avenue on Creighton Boulevard. For more information, visit meredithshealth.com/urgent care.
So I have a little story to tell you. One evening, a couple months ago, I was at an event with two friends, and they were having this conversation between them. I was just drinking my wine, and I was kind of listening in on their conversation, and they were talking about all these people they have these great friendships with. And I said, what are you guys talking about? They said, oh, our Wednesday morning exercise class, our body pump class. And they were saying, oh, yeah, you know, we've been exercising together for like 17 years, and we know whose spouse is sick, we know whose parents have passed away, we know who has new grandchildren, we know, if somebody's gotten a divorce or they're downsizing or they're, they know everything. And when somebody's sick, we bring them dinners. And I said, you're kidding me. And they said, no. And I said, who teaches this class? And they said, this woman named Stephanie Hartsock. And right away, I knew that I wanted to have her on the show because she is doing what Prime Time for Women is all about, bringing women together and really engaging them on an emotional level. So it is my privilege to introduce Stephanie Hartsock, who not only helps physical bodies be healthy through exercise, but helps that emotional connection that makes us all better, healthier, and stronger. Please welcome Stephanie to the stage. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. So, Stephanie, can you tell us a little bit about your fitness journey, how you got started?
Sure. So, about 4 years ago, I was kind of in a little slump, I guess, maybe a little depressed. Our older sons had just finished years of team sports and graduated from high school, and that was our social events for the week. So it came to an end, as it always does. And so I guess my crankiness and my tiredness was evident to myself and my family. So we needed to make a change. And so my husband suggested that I take a group fitness class. There was a gym close by his office. So he kind of pushed me out of my box, and I did. So I didn't even know what I was looking for, what kind of class, but I saw body pump, and it sounded really cool. So I tried it out, and the class was taught by an amazing instructor, Kat Smith. If anyone's taken her class, yes, she is an amazing motivator. So took the class once, and I was hooked. I felt great. So that's my side of it. So as a participant, everything changed. I wanted to go back. I felt great physically. The clouds had lifted. I sort of felt like myself again. So, and I had great support from home.
And you had all those new friends? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my very first friends that I met at the gym is here, Michelle.
Oh, there's
and
Michelle.
I've met many, many more in the last 4 years. So it's been great.
That's great. And it's interesting to me as I look at the research and people talk about the health benefits of social interactions, but in particular, social interactions that occur during exercise. Could you talk
Absolutely.
about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, as a participant, when I showed up to the class, I was warmly welcomed by the group. And they were middle-aged women like myself. And the instructor welcomed me. They got me set up. And it just felt good. It felt like I belonged. And it continued that way. And the friendships built. And it's just grown from there. It's amazing.
I was going to tell you the story. I don't know if any of you saw our Facebook page, but yesterday I was at Rooster Moon meeting a friend for coffee. And as I was going into the restroom, there's a little like coffee room there. It used to be the bank vault. And there was like 9 people squeezed into this little space, and they were laughing and carrying on, and they all looked to be about my age. And so I go to the bathroom, and I come out, and they're laughing even harder. So I stuck my head in, and I said, "Hi, you don't know me, but I just want to say I think this is inspirational." So I wound up chatting with these ladies, and they have been getting together for Friday morning aerobics class. I think they said for like 15 years, and then they go to coffee every single Friday. But it's grown from that. They also now travel together. They go to each other's grandchildren's graduations. I mean, it is like this real community of people. So I actually said, yeah, I know you don't know me, but can I take your picture and put it on my Facebook page? And they're like, okay. Yeah, so check it out. It was a really fun thing. And I said to them, what is the best part about getting together? And they said, we always have somebody who can listen to us. We never feel that we're alone. And, you know, the research says that when you have what social scientists call social cohesion, the sense of belonging to a larger group, your body actually releases these 17 neurotransmitters that create an immunity shield in your body.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering if that's something that you see in your exercise class too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there are so many benefits, mental and physical, but that feel-good hormone, the endorphins, it's amazing.
And then maybe just real quickly talk about some of the strength, balance, and all those benefits from physical exercise.
Yeah, so I'm certified in Les Mills Body Pump and CX Works. Body Pump saw a little bit of it. That was our warm-up. It's a barbell workout. We work the entire body, every large muscle group, in formats of 55 minutes, 45, or 30. So that's a strength training program. And then I also teach CX Works, which is a 30-minute core program.
Okay.
And so we just strengthen the core around the spine from shoulders to hips. And that one is really great for injury prevention, balance as we age. Because it goes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do on this show, every show, is we check our cards to see who has the largest friend group here, if it's the Women Who Wine group or the Friday Night Book Club. But today, we went through the cards, and our largest friend group actually is here in support of Stephanie.
Oh,
so can we invite Stephanie's group up on stage? Come on up. Ooh. Come on up if you're here supporting Stephanie.
Thank you, guys. And see, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. These are all my Body Pump friends.
This is great. This is great.
It's very motivational. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, come on up on stage. Push your chair back so they have room. Thank you for coming. We're so glad that you're here.
Thank you
are you in
guys
her
for
class?
being here.
Yeah,
you're great.
Okay. All right.
And this is my instructor motivator, Angela.
Okay.
She welcomed me on and has taught me an awful lot. So,
oh my gosh, this is great. So one of the things we do, because this show is all about women supporting women, the group of women that has the largest friend group, they get to pick a nonprofit that receives 10% of total ticket sales. Because we pass on that goodness and that strength that we get from others, we pass it on to the rest of our community. So come on up. We want to make sure you're all on stage. Come on. This is great. We haven't had this. There's nobody left in the audience. No, not really. So come on up. Yeah, so I didn't know if you have talked. You didn't know you were going to be the largest friend group. But do you have a nonprofit that you do? Who would you like to receive?
The National Federation for Suicide Prevention, in memory of my stepbrother.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's give Stephanie's group a round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And we will definitely make sure that we make that donation.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being here today. We'll see you next month.